But it's very much, I wanted to bring you something in this YouTube Thanksgiving event dinner that was different. And I have mashed potatoes on my channel here. I have had a roasted turkey. I'm a former caterer, and I've done spent a lot of Thanksgiving days roasting turkeys for my customers. Had the best mashed potatoes, you know, southern green beans, dressing. I've got all kinds of Thanksgiving and holiday, Christmas, all kinds of recipes for the holidays. Hey y'all, and welcome back to Heritage Ways. Heritage Ways is where we honor home, celebrate heritage, and spread hope. My love language, I'm Miss Katie, is cooking. I love to share food with folks. I love to show hospitality. I love to share recipes and ideas. I've been cooking since I was 9 years old, and that is been a while. I've written 2 cookbooks. I have menus and recipes on our website. So if you are new here, welcome. Get to know us. Come on in. Pull up a chair. Make yourself at home. If you're not new here and you have come back, I am honored and I am grateful and I am thankful for your friendship. I'm thankful for the Heritage Ways community. Part of that community are some of friends that I've known for a while through YouTube, some new friends, some new YouTube friends, and 9 of us have come together for YouTube Thanksgiving event, kind of like a collaboration of sorts. But we are bringing different items to a virtual YouTube Thanksgiving dinner. Well, those other channels besides myself are Super at 60, The Farming Pastor's Wife, Whippoorwill Holler, Vicky's Country Home, Apron Strings, Threshold Homestead, Sharon Yarborough, Greg's Kitchen, and Living the Good Life with Grammy Nene, who I think this was her idea to begin with. So thanks for that, Renee. Today I am going to bring y'all something that might be unique. You might think you don't care for this vegetable, but I thought the same thing until my great aunt, who was a wonderful Christian lady and just, I thought, so righteous in every way, until she lied to me. Well, we'll talk about that here in a minute. But let's get started just making turnips, cooking turnips. Now, this is for somebody who sees turnips in the store. You've heard of people growing turnips. You think, what in the world am I supposed to do with turnips? The root, not the greens. I am from the South, and I'm unique in the sense of I've tried turnip greens and I just can't. I don't care for them. I've given them a good old college try and I just can't. But turnips I do love. In fact, I wrote about them in my most recent cookbook, a recipe or a how-to. It's not even hard. So I want you to stick with me if you don't mind, even if you don't care for turnips. And let's just chat a while in the kitchen today. This is the root of a turnip. Now, I didn't grow any this year, so I bought these at the grocery store. You can get them at your farmer's market or wherever. I got 3 packs because I really like them, and I wanted to cook enough for us to have for supper tonight while I was showing to you. So typically it has the root on it, and then the green coming obviously from the top, but you would just cut the root off and then cut the green top off, which they've already done. Now, I peel these. I have never not peeled these, but I suppose that's up to you, but I feel like the peeling is a little bit tough. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to peel these turnips. Probably going to peel, well, whatever will fit in my pan here. I'm going to peel and then cube them like if you were going to cut potatoes for potato salad. Alright, what I'm going to do after cutting up, this is all 9 of those turnips. So I'm going to say 9 just average size, medium size. They weren't small and they weren't huge. Honestly, I've seen bigger and smaller. So these are just kind of medium size. They came 3 in a package. I don't typically like to buy in the package like that, but that's what I could find. And nowadays we are adaptable. We're flexible, aren't we? We're using what we can find. So I've got a pot full, don't I? Okay, I'm going to add, cover with my Berkey water, my pure water that we like to use. We love our Berkey water filter. And I'm going to cover the turnips and bring them to a boil, and then I'm going to simmer until they are done, fork tender. Just like you would potatoes, the same kind of idea. Now, speaking of potatoes, I had a great aunt. She's passed on years ago, back in 1998. But she never married. Very, just a wonderful lady. Everybody loved her. She taught Sunday school. She taught public school for years. She took care of her parents until they died. Lived home with them. She was here in Ohio, where my family, my dad's family lived and lives. And one holiday, we were up here because we would always come up to Ohio, where we live now. If you're new to us, from Tennessee, we're now in Ohio. And she was sitting by me at one of the meal tables. And I was never a picky child, really. But turnips are something really very different that I especially wasn't used to as a Southern young lady, because that's not really a Southern food, in my opinion, or my experience. It's more, in my experience, a Northern thing that's consumed, a Northern food. Well, Auntie was sitting beside me, and she said, "Here, take some," and we're passing the food, and she said, "It's mashed potatoes." Oh my stars. So I got it because, you know, who doesn't love mashed potatoes? And I tasted it, and it wasn't mashed potatoes, Auntie. However, I loved it very much. So, and I love her very much. So I tell that story. I'm sure she never, of course, you know, meant to lie necessarily, but that's kind of what she did. But that's the story of how I came to love mashed turnips. Now, I haven't lied to my own children about it, but I have encouraged them to put the mashed turnips on their plate and to try them, and suggested that maybe if they mix it in with their mashed potatoes, it might not taste so strange. What we're going to do is we're going to bring these to a boil, and we'll come back when they are fork tender. While we're waiting on the turnips, I'd like to talk for just a minute about thankfulness, because that is what this YouTube Thanksgiving event is about. Sharing our thankfulness, sharing our recipes, and sharing our homes and our kitchens with y'all, the wonderful communities that each channel has. Now, this may sound cheesy, okay? But I really don't mean it like that. And it may sound like a, you know, cliche. But I honestly am thankful for the YouTube community, broader than that, the Heritage Ways community. Now let me explain. If you have met us in person, I hope that you understand what we're about and understand our ministry. If you've met us in person, comment down below and say hi and let us know. Let us maybe know, let folks know where we met or how we met. But my husband and the three youngest children just finished traveling for 2 years around the eastern part of the nation, simply to build community, maybe do service projects if we could find those, if the Lord would lead us to those, but to meet our social media friends. We did that primarily through Instagram, which we are not on anymore. but also we met many of our YouTube friends as well. So Heritage Ways was born out of the passing of Mr. Patient's daddy, and more specifically my mother. We have a whole story about that, and I'm not gonna replay that right now, but I need you to know, I would like for you to know that YouTube and the Heritage Ways brand is bigger than us. It is bigger than me and Mr. Patient and our family. It is bigger than YouTube. It is bigger than social media, because we try to give all glory to God, and we give Him praise for the relationships that we have been privileged to make and to build. I can't tell you how many friendships, real life friendships we have made, because we are trying to be intentional with Heritage Ways. We have a Patreon platform. A lot of people don't like for me to mention that. They'll watch television with commercials, but they don't want anything, you know, a YouTube channel to have a commercial. Well, this is not a commercial. I'm just explaining that we have a Patreon platform, and we have, I think it's 46 patrons over there, families, households, and many of those folks we have met in person, and we just adore and love so much. So I truly am thankful. Honestly, I'm thankful for those people who invest so much of their resources and time into us, into our ministry on Patreon. But more than that, and bigger than that, bigger than all of this, is what the Lord is doing and has done. And we just devote what we're doing to Him, and we give all glory to Him. So I'm thankful to the Lord, and I'm thankful for y'all. And I hope if this channel is something that you find value in, then I hope that you would tell folks. Hit the subscribe button and tell folks, because the Lord is the one who is growing this channel. And I'm just so thankful for that. My turnips are finished. I'm going to drain them in the sink. Y'all hear my boys down in the basement. They're right under me playing. Okay, I am actually going to just put these back on the fire for just a minute. I'm adding, it's about, it's about 4 tablespoons of butter, which is half a stick, which is 1/4 of a cup. And I'm just going to put it back on the stove, the gas oven, just for a second. A couple minutes, minute or two, to just evaporate any water that's in there and get that butter completely melted. I'm still having trouble thinking of words from where I had the sickness, the virus, back a month or so ago. That's why I have to stop and hesitate and say more than I usually do. I'm thinking of the right word. It's crazy. Okay, actually, I'm going to go ahead and add more butter. So you would, this is in my cookbook, but I'm not telling you have to have my cookbook to make this. But in my cookbook, it doesn't give measurements on this, just because, you know, the amount of turnips may vary, so I don't give measurements. So today I've used not quite a stick of butter, not quite a full stick. Salt and pepper. Now, this is just a canning jar, jelly jar with the lid, and I asked Mr. Patient to do this for me. He just punched some holes, so you have your own shaker here. And then also, this is organic pure cane sugar, and I'm adding a little bit because turnips can be a little bitter. It's probably a teaspoon. I'm not going to add more than that. Maybe another little shake, but at the most a teaspoon and a half. Then I'm just going to mash them with my potato masher. Mashed turnips. I already smell that butter. I'm happy to have my sense of smell. back. I can smell that butter. It's not going to be exactly the same consistency as mashed potatoes. It's not going to be light and fluffy. You hear little music man down there laughing. They are having a blast. All right, here we go. It's hot. Oh, they are so good. Buttery, barely sweet, but just enough to knock off any bitterness of the turnips. So good. Oh, yes. Simple, but something maybe you haven't thought of. Very good. All right. Well, I don't know if you can hear him, but I hope you can. They are laughing and having a good time playing downstairs. I wish you, our family wishes you a very peaceful and reflective, thankful Thanksgiving holiday. And if you don't live in the United States, you're not celebrating American Thanksgiving next week, that's okay. You know, we have a lot of friends in the Heritage Ways community. The Netherlands, Dunya, hello. We have a lot of friends from Canada. We have friends from Australia, India, Germany, Ireland. And so we are very thankful for everyone. And we recognize that everybody's not celebrating Thanksgiving, but you can certainly enjoy some of the recipes that we're sharing in this YouTube Thanksgiving dinner series. Talk to you later. Count your blessings, y'all.